club night, which we do once a month, where we basically take the people we're working with and we give them some stage time. I just want to remind everybody that right now it's very important to get yourself out there as a brand, as a service provider, as a person. People want hope. They want connection. They want collaboration. They want direction. Now is the time to use your voice for good. And of course, what I mentioned before is to really connect with people is really important. People are craving connection. Many of us have been isolated or locked down for a while. People are really craving that real human touch. Hi, Liz. Nice to see you. Um, just a little bit about us. We started way back in 2011, so we've been around in a decade. So give me a why if you've been to a smelly, stinky pub ever in your life in the chat room. Give me a why. Lots of whys going on there. Yeah. Only 3 of you. Really? Are you just not admit? Oh, there we go. Right. There we go. We're getting there. And you know that really beautiful smell you get with a stinky, smelly, sticky pub? Well, that's where we started our very first club night, right? In a smelly, stinky pub in Kentish Town in London. And what happened was my co-founder, Anik, who's no longer with the business, she really wanted to create a space where speakers can practice, get it wrong, get it right, and be supported. Because up until that point, you know, she'd done lots of courses and then you're booted out, and then another course and you're booted out. So she wanted to create a continuous narrative where speakers can continuously train and work and get feedback. And that's where it all started in Kentish Town. And I'm happy to say that since then, we have graduated to much better venues. And when we're allowed out, right now, of course, the venue is my desk, my microphone, and the light. This is the team that is Speaker Express. So we got me, I'm the co-founder, I'm the lead trainer. And then Anik is the co-founder who now is in Australia. And then you got my wife who's in charge of the marketing advisor. And then you've got the team, content marketing, my right-hand lady, and of course the Standout Academy coaches as well. Who is this guy speaking to if I've never met you before? Hello, I'm Elliot and I'm the co-founder of Speaker Express, and I am the managing director. I'm a mentor coach and the lead trainer. I also just recently won a specialist consultants award with the London Prestige. Woo, woo. So I just found out last week. That's not even official news yet, but I'm sharing that with you. So if everybody gives me a little woo woo dance, please, can I see those arms going up like whoop whoop? Go Elliot, go Elliot. That's Ricky Lake, wrong show. Sorry. And I've got over 8,000 hours of stage time. I've written 2 best-selling books. One of them last year called Speak, Influence, Sell. I thank you for that, Laurie. I also am a host on my podcast, Voice for Good. We're now in season 3, starting to record that. I contribute to Expert Profile magazine, and my give back, I love it. It warms my heart every month, is I'm a mentor at the Princess Trust, and I work with young entrepreneurs on the enterprise scheme. We work with a variety of business owners, from tech entrepreneurs to coaches, trainers, consultants. We work with people who just want to be better speakers as well. But in essence, we want people that have a message, that want to put themselves out there and market themselves as well. And, you know, one of our big successes of last year, for those of you who followed MasterChef Professional in the top right there, we helped Philly get on TV, but also work with her on how she positioned herself, how she answered questions. She came in the top 4, not thanks to our training. It'd be nice to say that was thanks to our training. That was thanks to her cooking. And actually, I interviewed her, and she'll be the last person on Voice for Good this season. And it was a very open, emotional podcast. It was very nice to see. She was like, Elliot, when I expected you to do it, I expected you to like high level questions. What was it like? You're the only one that asked me how it felt. How did it feel? And I'm like, well, trust me to take you then. At one point, she actually burst out crying in a good way, So you'll have to wait to the last episode of Voice for Good. We work with a variety of businesses, a variety of people, a variety of corporates, but the heart of everything we do is you, the entrepreneur, the solopreneur, the person. We believe that the impact will start with you. And that's why we like working with small teams and individuals and entrepreneurs who can make changes. So this is Club Night. We also have one-to-one trainings. We have the Standout Academy, which you'll see some people speaking from tonight, and a brand new mastermind, which I'll touch on a bit later on, which we're running as well. Here's what I want to say, and I'll move myself magically to here. Woohoo! Do you see how I did that? So you can see what it says there. It doesn't matter where you are, people. It really doesn't matter where you are. You could be right at the beginning, or you could already be in the influencer space. What we can do is help enhance that, help you grow that, help your presence, your presentation, your impact, the language you use. So it really does depend where you want to go. And that's where we would love to help you. And we do that through the speakers method. There's 6 key areas to that. And that's how we come in and help you. So, what I'd love to know now is what is your biggest challenge when it comes to speaking right now? So, if you want to type that in the chat box, tell me what your biggest challenge is right now. And I would love to see the answers. What is it? Time. Yes, time is a challenge. Get paid. Okay. Content. Interesting. So, creating content, is that the one? Confidence and getting my point across. Great. Time of getting paid, confidence, doing what I want, not just what I can. Yes. Speaking with impact. Love it. First step, taking the first step. Excellent. One or two more of you. Some really good stuff there. Confidence. Laurie, have we met? I recognize your name. Why do I recognize your name?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Well, we have met, and I came to a few of your events as well.
I remember now. Now I remember your name. Cool. Welcome back. Always nice to see you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, so here's what I want to reassure you. That everything you've put in terms of your challenge, these are the variety of businesses we've worked with, the different types of industries we work with, and they all have those challenges in common, right? So again, if you're right at the beginning or you're already established, the challenges don't change. Everybody experiences them. And here's the key challenges we used to get: low speaking impact, low conversions, unclear brand message, confidence is always an issue, forgetting to pitch. But since the pandemic, it's changed, right? And it's changed to standing out amongst the noise, standing out and finding opportunities, confidence to be authentic, not to shout louder, but talk in your own voice, right? Confidence in your product, reaching out to the right people, and collaboration, and not to feel that you're alone. Does everybody relate to some of those at least? That getting online, getting your point across. It's noisy. Everybody's got this course, that course. You should do this. Need to sound like this. Need to look like that. Give me a why if you agree in the chat room. Give me a why. Go, why, Elliot? Why? Why me? Cool. Lots of whys kicking in there. Excellent. So that's fine. You give me the why totally. Don't worry about giving me which one you relate to. But here's what I want you to understand, right? And this is why today's all about personal branding before we move to the speakers. Research has shown, and let me move me down. Go away, Elliot, right? That if you start a business this year, you're going to have more competitors than if you started 5 years ago. And it's 9.7 versus 2.6. It's huge. The amount of businesses or the amount of people launching or the amount of brands starting is massive, right? Than it was. And that's in the space of a year. I mean, I know 5 years ago, a lot of people are taking this opportunity to find themselves, to launch themselves, to get out there, to transition careers, which is fantastic. It's amazing because some of the biggest companies were born in the last recession. Uber and all those companies were born then. So this is, in a way, a good time to do it. It's also a very challenging time. And what will distinguish you and what will get you to stand out is your brand, right? Is your brand and your brand as a speaker and how you position yourself and how you do it and how you show up and what you stand for. That is what will get you to stand out. Now, please remember this. This is about personal branding. We are all a personal brand. If we have a job, we're still a brand, right? Even if you work within a brand, if you stand up and speak, you're a brand. So please remember that whatever and wherever you are a brand. You might not think about yourself as a brand. However, you are a brand. So just type in one or two sentences, what do you perceive to be a brand? What is a brand? Thank you, Laurie. Right? What is a brand? Tell me. Put in like one or two sentences in the chat room. Hello, Mulugeta. Nice to see you. A thing we believe in, a set of values. Yes, those all constitute a brand. How we show up. Yep. The image and messages you send out to the world. Yep. How you present yourself. Identity. Brand is a person who's going his, her mission 100% of the moment and be charismatic, talking about your mission. I love that. That's great. Brand is also two things. It's what people say about you when you're not in the room, right? And brand is designed to occupy a part of your brain. So when you think of that service, that speaker, that provider, they think of you. That's what a brand is, right? Let's not go back to the old school when you used to brand cows. That's a different branding, right? But that's where it comes from. So there's four key components I want to talk about today before we move on with the other speakers. You want to build a brand that stands out, right? You've got to think about the problem you're solving. And when you are communicating on stage or the virtual stage and you're using speaking, you've got to speak directly to your clients. Too many people build fluffing brands, unclear brands. They have an unclear message. Therefore, they don't attract their ideal clients, right? You've got to really connect with your audience, market, customer, however you want to put it, and relate back to them the things they care about. Too many people build a brand that just talks about how great they are, right? You want to build a powerful brand. You want to be more giraffe, which I'll talk about in a minute. You want to stand out, relate to your audience, your market, and talk in terms of what they care about. The best speaker brands are driven by the desire to solve a specific problem that they're struggling with, articulated in their language and put in front of them in a way they want solving. So that's one way to distinguish a brand, right? The next one you want to think about, of course, is people immediately will go on a journey with you if they can relate to you, your brand, your story, your message, what you stand for. But more than anything, that you can solve their problem. The more you can solve their problem, the more they'll go on a journey with you. So keep that in mind. The other thing, of course, is you need to be more giraffe. This is a given, right? Give me a why if you agree with being more giraffe. You've got to stand out, right, from the noise, right? And what do we mean about being more giraffe? We mean sticking your neck out, being heard for the right reasons, because you stand for something greater, bigger. The way you deliver it is different. Your content, your style, your looks, it's unique. I often do talks in my giraffe outfit. In fact, I contemplated doing the talk in the giraffe outfit, and I don't know why I didn't do it. I think it's because I was hanging out with my kids and then I came in to start this. So I didn't get into my giraffe outfit. The point is, it's not to be, I don't wear the giraffe outfit to mock or to make fun of, but I do it because it's got a very strong message, right? You remember my hat. And the message is we've got to be willing to stick our neck out and be different. And that's why we use the term be more giraffe, right? And that's the key here. So I want you all from today, give me the pledge that you're going to be more giraffe with everything you do. Yes? Give me a woohoo in the chat room if you're ready to be more giraffe. All right. We've got lots of woohoos there. Great stuff. A big woohoo. A whoop. I know, Liz, you had to be different, didn't you? So make sure you're relevant, you're enrolling, and you're relatable as a brand, right? The other thing I want you to remember is emotions drive buying decisions. And the more you can be emotional with your brand and connected with your brand, giraffe in it, yes. The more you can do that, actually, the more you'll stand out as a brand, right? Your speaker brand should have an emotional connection that encourages your audience to build positive associations, because we all know what happens with negative associations. So don't be afraid to enroll emotions into your brand, to allow people to emotionally connect with you. I don't mean in a needy, culty way. That's just yucky, right? But that your brand cares, that people feel you, that they hear you, and there's a consistency throughout everything when you speak, to your website, to your social media. What a lot of people say about me is what they see is what they get, and I'm consistent throughout. I don't suddenly show up as a speaker one way, and then on the social media, I'm another way. And that's the key thing. You want positive association when you're building a brand. And we like to have a bit of fun with it as well. So, but that's up to you what kind of brand you want to build. Yep. The other thing is be honest, right? Stand for something. Don't be vanilla. Everybody is super aware now. Everybody is massively sensitive, and people have clued up to a lot of the crappy stuff that goes on there with brands, right? People want brands that stand for something, that care for something. And especially with the rise of the millennials, they want to know you're purpose driven. They want to know that you care about this world, right? And so I would be very honest with your brand, be very real, which makes you very relatable as well. So show your speaker brand as it really is. Don't pretend. Yeah, that's the other thing. I know there's marketing and there's brand building, and that is about positioning, and you're the expert and you're the go to person, or you build up to that. but also be honest about the journey you've been on. And that's key. A lot of the relatability will come from the honesty you put out there. And that doesn't mean elicit sympathy or feel sorry for me. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being honest as a brand. Be congruent, be transparent. People will love you for that, right? And when you have a brand, and we talked about this journey at the beginning, your brand will allow you to go up the ranks from speaker, and then you become an expert. The more content you put out there, the more giraffe you are, the more you get invited to speak, the more you get invited to speak, the more you're seen as a leader. The more you're seen as a leader, you shift to the influencer space because then you build the following. And then, of course, you end up in the authority space where you sit beside the big, big players. And that happens for how you build a brand. I just want you to understand that. Okay. So that's the little educational part of the evening. What I'd love you to do right now, as I transition out of this, is I'd like you to type in what is the biggest takeaway you've had from this. This will also be on the YouTube channel as of tomorrow. So if you wanted to go back and watch it, I'll also send it to everybody that attended today as well. So tell me what it is your biggest takeaway from the educational section.